I'm Travis Frame, and this is Frame by Frame. And today I'm going to be finishing my series of my top 100 movies of all time. This is my top 10 movies of all time. Starting off with number 10 is going to be The Usual Suspects. I think that everything about this movie is so expertly done. I think that the cast is phenomenal and all the characters are so interesting that no matter how many times you rewatch it, it's interesting every time. I think that the movie is so dynamic and twisting and turning, and it's just a great crime thriller mystery movie, and I love it so much. Number 9 is How to Talk to Girls at Parties. This is probably, out of any of the 100 movies in this video series so far, the most controversial one. I think I am probably one of the like 6 people on this entire planet that actually really likes this movie, and maybe the only one that loves this movie. I think that this movie is so weird and wacky in the most absolutely charming way. I think that it is just so fun in its weirdness, and I think that it just did everything that I didn't expect in such a great way. And I can't really explain other than I just love that it's so weird and unique and strange. Number 8 is The House That Jack Built. This is my personal favorite Lars von Trier film. I think that Matt Dillon as Jack is one of the greatest casting choices of all time. I think that he plays the role perfectly. I think that the story and the writing are incredible. I think the performances are top notch. And I think that the film overall is just so well done in every aspect. It's deeper themes that it covers, and everything about it is just so intricately planned and detailed. And a lot of people might argue that it's just a disturbing movie about this like super terrible guy. And at its surface level, it is, but it's so much deeper than that. And I think that that's why it is at my number 8 spot. At number 7 is Memento, my personal favorite Christopher Nolan movie. That says a lot because I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, and I think it's just so expertly told. I think that this is Nolan at his peak of time manipulation slash um, the way that he chooses to use time in a film in order to create tension in a film. I think that this is him at his peak with regards to that. And I think that the film is so well done. Guy Pearce is phenomenal in the lead role as Leonard. And it is like just so fascinating to watch. Number 6 is Whiplash. I think that this film is so good. I think that the like only flaws that I've heard people point out with that I can kind of understand is that some of the characters are just super like unlikable. There's no one that you root for as much because our main character obviously he kind of pushes people away and that makes him a little bit less likable. But I think that that's kind of part of the point of the film is that his like dedication and his like obsession with drumming is part of who he is. And I think that's part of what makes the film. I think the dynamic between Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons in the film is so perfect. I think that the performances of them just kind of facing off is so good. And I think that this has maybe my favorite like last 20 minutes of a film. No spoilers, obviously, but I think that the way the film wraps up and the finale to this movie is so well done that I don't know if I've ever seen a film that has quite that impact in that last bit as in Whiplash. Number 5 is Shutter Island. Another unpopular opinion that this is my most uh, like loved Scorsese film. I think that this movie, despite the fact that it is so different from Scorsese's other work, it works so well. Um, all the performances are amazing, and it's just such a interesting and unique mystery thriller. I think that the atmosphere that is created is part of what makes this film so good, and the way that Scorsese kind of crafts this story and creates this atmosphere is part of what makes it so engrossing and so uh, like captivating throughout the entirety of the film. Number four is La La Land. Now, I don't think that there's ever been a film that makes me want to make films as much as La La Land. La La Land is an incredibly impactful film for me in that regard. I think that it just is so inspiring. It represents everything that I love about filmmaking, everything I love about the idealistic Hollywood. It represents what Hollywood should be in its dream searching, dream achieving kind of nature. It represents this idealistic aspect of Hollywood, kind of similar to what I talked about in my previous video with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but even to that next level of it just being kind of the perfection and the idealistic nature of films and what they can inspire in people. And I think that that's so powerful. And as a film fan, it just had such a big impact on myself. Number three is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I am a major fan of this movie. I think that the strangeness and the uniqueness of it is fascinating. I think that the way that it tells a what could be cliche love story, it tells it in such a powerful way that I think that anyone can relate to in terms of not just a romantic relationship, but in terms of relationships in general. And I think that that's what makes this film so good is that the kind of deep dive into like relationships and the interactions between people is just so fleshed out and so complex, and I love this movie so much. Number two is The Shawshank Redemption. I mean, I don't know how you can watch this movie and not love it. It is just so good in every aspect. It is cliche, I think, to say that this is among your favorite films of all time, but there's a reason that so many people would name this as one of their favorite films is because it's so impactful. It is a, I'd say a sad film, but it is so uplifting in so many ways. And I think that that inspiration of hope and overcoming adversity is what makes the film so relatable to so many people. And it's what has what creates its big impact. And I think that that's one of the reasons I love it so much. And it's just a really well made film along with these like deep messages and these powerful themes. And finally, my number one film of all time is Swiss Army Man. Now, I know a lot of people joke with me that this is my favorite film of all time. A lot of people haven't seen it. I love this film in every single thing it does. I am someone that I think uh, likes weird movies. Obviously, you've seen some of my other movies in my top 100. This one is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen, and I love it. It's just a really likable film if you can kind of just suspend your disbelief and just kind of go along with the story and just kind of accept the weirdness of the film. If you're expecting a straightforward movie, like a straightforward kind of castaway style movie, that's not what you're going to get here. Because that's not what Swiss Army Man is. It's a movie about friendship and life, and it's about so many things. And I think that that's why I love it. It's one of the few films that has me on the verge of tears and then laughing out loud and then just emotionally impacted in back to back to back scenes. It's and it handles that so well if you're able to just kind of embrace the film. And I think that that's my biggest recommendation for people that I would say for watching this film is you just have to embrace the weirdness. And I think that that's something that a lot of film viewers could do just in general. I think that a lot of movies, people are like, it's too weird. I don't like that it's weird. And Swiss Army Man is kind of the peak of that. And then it's just like, oh, it's too weird. I don't like it. Like, I love it because if you embrace it, you can understand just how beautiful of a movie this is. And that's why I love it so much, is that because it has this roller coaster of emotions because of how unafraid it is to just be itself. And I think that's the best way I can describe it as why it's my favorite movie of all time. And I love Swiss Army Man. Thank you all for waiting for this video and for watching my top 10. Soon I will be posting a video because it's taken me so long to post these. There's been some changes in my top 100, so I'm going to post a video about that. And thank you all for watching.